Welcome to the Electric Playground. We're at E3 2015, and we've got the latest from the show floor, starting with the rundown.
Plus, we grapple onto one of E3's biggest games, Just Cause 3, for a new look.
And then Rock Band 4 hits the stage, and we join in.
Also coming up, we have overviews of everything that Sony and Microsoft had to offer at E3, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. E3 2015 is upon us, and as you can probably guess, there is a ton of stuff to talk about. Here to help me talk about some of that stuff is my pal and yours, Jose Sanchez. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Vic. I'm good, man. E3, full in effect.
Full in effect, and lots of very, very cool announcements all week long. Now, we are going to be talking about the Sony and Microsoft announcements from their press conference later on in the show. But right now, let's talk about some of the other conferences and some of the other big titles, starting with Bethesda.
Bethesda kicked off E3, first press conference of the show, and it came out swinging, man. Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was kind of a little anticlimactic in some ways because they had announced it before E3.
I feel like there was so much stuff announced prior to E3 in regards to everything as
general,
well, and just in general, that, okay, everybody expected it, you know, especially the day before their press conference, they had leaked that Dishonored 2 was coming out too, so, and then they showed that, like, okay, gaming's best kept secret, we got Fallout 4, we got Dishonored 2, new Doom.
The new Doom, they spent a lot of time talking about Doom. I think the big reveal and surprise about Fallout, though, was that it's coming this year. November 10th is going to be a huge day. Mark that on your calendar.
Yeah, circle it, or just black it out. Just you don't want to know that.
You'll be playing that game like crazy. And that was Bethesda's first E3 showcase. They seem like old pros, and they did a phenomenal job.
I mean, they've been doing this gaming thing for a long time.
Yes, they have.
And they have Todd Howard, who is Bethesda's Victor Lucas. The guy never ages. They both bathe in the same fountain of youth.
I like that analogy, all of that. Okay, but let's talk about Ubisoft and Electronic Arts, who also had very strong conferences. The EA one, though, the new tease of the new Mass Effect, which looks insane.
That's how they kicked it off, too.
They have an incredibly strong assortment of titles heading our way, and Star Wars Battlefront and the expansion for Old Republic. Yeah. Super excited. The Star Wars nerd in me, I can't wait to get my hands on
all the Star Wars stuff. They have a card game as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they stretched it too long, you know? In contrast, I think Ubisoft's conference was really tight, really well produced, really focused. It helps that Aisha Tyler is an incredible pro.
Yeah.
She's such a great host.
You can tell she's into the games. I mean, she's been doing it for Ubisoft for a few years now, and she Lady Boner.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, she coined some good phrases. I was really impressed with what I saw from For Honor, and I can't wait to get that home with me. I'm liking the Tom Clancy deluge of new titles that are headed our way. The Division's feeling like we just got to play the damn thing. Yeah. We've been waiting too long for it, I feel.
And then they came out with Ghost Recon Wildlands, which looks like Desert Division.
Right, in a way, but it's a little more action-packed. It's a little less strategy, a little less RPG-ish.
I got a chance to play it. It's huge open world, craziness, amazingness, and the world is huge. And it's kind of like that Crackdown vibe where me and you can go off, do our own missions, but it's still in the same synchronous world.
They have done an amazing job with the visuals on that thing, and I don't know. I've always loved the Ghost Recon stuff, and I'm also an enormous fan of Rainbow Six. I played a little bit of the Siege multiplayer. I was terrible, but it was really fun, and it really brings me back to the original Xbox days playing Rainbow Six 3. I think we were all playing that online, and I can't wait for this game.
But I mean, when you're talking about Ubisoft, the biggest, most exciting announcement, South Park is coming back.
That was very cool. Yes.
South Park is back, and these guys at Obsidian did an incredible job with the first one.
Yeah, you know what was funny? It was just just how casual, Matt and Trey were when they got up on stage. Is this the game that you're most excited about?
I love The Stick of Truth. Me and Ben both love that game, so I'm definitely stoked to see more and more South Park.
Awesome. Well, EA, Ubisoft, and Bethesda aren't the only companies here with
lots. Mirror's Edge too?
Yeah, Mirror's Edge, incredible. They're not the only ones though with big stories to tell. Square Enix has a monster game heading our way. It's called Just Cause 3. Let's take a look. Roland Lesterlin has a very big job for a very big game. Just Cause 3, lots of buzz, lots of hype, and it looks like you can pretty much do anything that you want. Anything the hell you want to do, you can do it in this game. How do you rein that in? How do you actually ship a finished product when you have something that big and ambitious?
It is pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing you do is you get a lot of talented people to work on it.
Yeah.
That's been pretty good, and we've had a lot of very talented developers who have come and joined us. And the second piece is you try to keep a vision for who Rico is. So as much as he is a big action star and you can do anything, you are actually confined to the idea that he has a grapple hook and a parachute and a wingsuit and explosions and vehicles, and not actually you can do anything you want. That's true. It's pretty hard to put it all together, but I think with enough talent, you kind of get there.
How are you guys shaping this story of Rico Rodriguez for this third game in the franchise now? Is it starting to become a little bit more mature, still tongue-in-cheek, still funny, but is it a little more cinematic? What are you guys doing this time?
Humor is a difficult thing in games.
Yeah.
So we really are trying to keep that kind of B-movie vibe to it, the Tropic Thunder sort of stuff going on. Cool. But we wanted to create some characters that had a bit of heart this time, people who Rico might have known from before, people who knew Rico when he was a kid, because he's coming back after all these years, back to his home to overthrow this dictator. Try to make a really fun villain, someone who is obviously psychotic and a big villain, but also nuanced and smart, and has actually been playing chess with this world, and eventually has world domination on his mind. So there's always that uber villain, but every great action hero needs a great villain to go up against, and we're trying to keep that humor and joy within the game. When I have time to play, it might not be the same time as you're playing, and though we still kind of want to compete against each other, and I've seen a bunch of great games do this already. The idea of, oh, well, you and I can do high scores and leaderboards, so we wanted to take that to the next level. Instead of it just being about leaderboards, now I can actually challenge you. I could wingsuit for a while and see my feet and realize, oh, I wingsuit for 1 minute and 37 seconds. Like, how long can you wingsuit? And I can actually send a call out directly to you, so the next time you log into the game, there's a call out that's like, hey, Roland has just challenged you to wingsuiting for more than 1 minute 37. So instead of just jumping in and exploding things, if you feel like doing it, you could then try to find a place in the world where you can wingsuit for further than I did, or destroy more chaos objects in 10 seconds, or go faster with a certain type of vehicle, or 100 different things. There are so many options within it. It really tries to create a dialogue between friends. And that, in addition to all of our normal leaderboards and challenges and everything else that you can keep competing against, really creates that community feel. Because Just Cause 2 was very famous for the fact that on PS3, it had a YouTube feature.
Yeah.
And that allowed it to be shared, and that changed Just Cause. I mean, the number of YouTube videos is astounding. It's in the millions. The top YouTube videos are something like 12 million views for them. That joy that people have in making it that experience, we wanted to make that accessible. And next gen, I mean, there's a button, you just share everything you want. So pretty excited to see how people stream this game when it comes out.
Just Cause 3 is coming out later this year.
And listen, sad news, we've got to take a break, but when we come back, more E3 madness with Rock Band 4. Take it away, Jose.
Slapping the bass. Welcome back to EP Daily. We are on the show floor at E3 2015, and we are rocking out to all of the coolest games.
Jose Sanchez is right. We are rocking out, and believe it or not, there's a new rock band coming, and we've got a backstage pass.
My veins are blue and connected, and every single bone in my brain is electric. But I dig bitches like the best of them. Yes, I'm a Hodoro. Come on, my daddy, yes, sir.
In case you've been living under a rock, Rock Band is back. This is the 4th iteration. Daniel Sussman is a product manager on the game, and it's new, but it's familiar. Tell us kind of what you're framing for Rock Band 4. What are we doing this time?
Well, one of the big things that's changed recently is that there are new consoles out there. And in fact, video games are this weird art form where if you don't continue to sort of build them as technology evolves, they stop existing. And to me, I feel like the Rockstar fantasy that is totally implicit in a game like Rock Band is something that is a big part of our culture. It means a lot to me personally anyway. And for me, one of the things that felt really important around Rock Band was bringing it to PS4, bringing it to the Xbox One, and making sure that a whole new generation of gamers who maybe are new to this kind of a game have an opportunity to play it. At the same time, we know that there are a lot of people that have this great experience, this great history, and a profound nostalgia for Rock Band, and We wanted to bring it back. It's allowed us to do a lot in terms of the tools that we have, both in the realm of graphics and what we can do just with the horsepower of these consoles. And then creatively, we've evolved as a group of creative people, and we have a lot to show here that is a genuine evolution of the Rock Band franchise.
Watch your tongue or have it cut from your head. Save your life by keeping whispers unsaid.
What's going to be different about playing Rock Band 4 that we've never played before?
Well, I think the guitar solo piece is a big part of it. We have a lot of other improvements that we've made around framing the experience as an ongoing party. You know, Rock Band really has a history of being a solid party game, but when you watch people play, they're very much focused on what they're doing, and there's not a lot of interplay, and more often than not, they're spending more time arguing about what songs to play next.
Rock Band 4 will officially leave the building starting on October 4th. Now, one of the best things about E3 every year are the huge press conferences that all the big publishers hold.
Each of them always try to upstage the other one, and here is Vic and Scott with an overview of Sony's press conference.
Bye. Durga.
This was an emotional moment. I felt 12 years old again, and that's all I really want from E3 is to feel 12 years old again.
Yeah, there was a lot of expectation that this would come back, or hope, you know, and I think that Sony's played a calculated
like
move.
Such a long shot.
But yeah, removing it from the public eye for so long, but it's real, it's coming. There was a boatload of fantastic drop-the-mic announcements at this press conference. A remake of Final Fantasy VII,
my God.
The new game from Guerrilla Games, this Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's Monster Hunter and Zelda, but on the PlayStation 4. I can't wait.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Heavenly Sword and Enslaved as well. It has a little
Absolutely,
ninja there, a little
that's
Tomb
right.
Raider in there. That looks ridiculous. There was also Uncharted 4. It closed the show. It was the game that we were all hyped to see, and
one
Sony
end,
knew that.
The Last Guardian. At the other end, you got Uncharted 4, and that was a knockout demo. I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at you. It was one of those white knuckle moments when Vic is just holding onto the table. He's not looking at his phone, which is very difficult to get him to take his eyes off his phone.
I'm a tweeter.
He was looking at the screen.
I'm a tweeter, but that game just riveted me. And, you know, it was like all the way through. There was a lot of Morpheus hype. There's talk about new games being developed because we didn't really see what the gestation or what the plans were for VR in the Xbox conference.
Right.
We're starting to get a little bit more of that here, but it's so difficult to show it off in a big thing like this. You need the headsets on to experience it.
And that's really one of the challenges that everybody who's making announcements here at E3 has. They have to find a way to talk about VR. I think Sony did a good job here. I think what they did is they showed a lot of things. They didn't say as much. They let the products speak for themselves. And boy, did these products speak loudly. I mean, I gotta tell you, the last couple of years, Sony's been kind of on the ropes a little bit. As far as I'm concerned, this makes them, it redeems everything that I feel like they've done wrong lately. Everything, I'm good with them now.
They've come out really strong ever since they announced the PlayStation 4.
Why am I so short today?
It's a good look for you. I like it. I think we should try to keep this in the show. But no, there was so much, and this is kind of my bone to pick with this press conference.
You got a peeve. What's your peeve?
Well, it's so much about next year and so much about waiting for next. This was the 2016 conference in a lot of ways, which is great. I mean, there's a lot to be hyped about for next year, but PS4 owners this year have to wait.
There's nothing to do.
I feel like there should be more of a focus in the year that E3 takes place on stuff that's coming, you know, in the immediate future to get people excited about, you know, the holiday season that's just around the corner.
I think you're right. And, you know, at the very end, and it had been so long, it's been so long now since I saw The Last Guardian, I kind of kept hoping they'd announce The Last Guardian 2 by the end of the show. Like, I'm really ready. I'm just hungry for more. And I don't know, like, of all the press conferences we've been to, I feel like this one was most geared for me, most geared for you.
It's a lot of magic.
It was like 1-2 punch after 1-2 punch, and by the end, again, there was emotion. There was real emotion. I had a good time. I think Sony did a great job.
Oh, crap.
Thanks, guys. You can watch the full Sony press conference, all available on EPN.tv.
And listen, we've got to take a break and freshen up a little. It gets kind of sweaty in here. You're very sweaty, my friend. But listen, when we come back, we've got an overview of Microsoft's press conference after this.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Now, before the break, we gave you an overview of Sony's press conference, and now it's time for Microsoft to shine. Here's an overview of the Big M's press conference.
Put them down once and for all.
Spartans are here. We got this.
So we had something different with the Bethesda showing last night, but Xbox really kicked off E3 with their press conference today. They showed us a huge lineup of titles. What do you think, my friend?
Well, the other thing that I forget about these press conferences are they're exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bethesda one last night felt like it was very modest in comparison to what Microsoft put on display here today. We got a lot of hardware, we got a lot of software. What software's titles stand out for you, Victor Lucas?
Well, I knew it was going to be a big show when Halo 5 is the first thing that they talk about. Usually that's one of the shoe drops or the mic drops or something drops, and then Halo is announced or we have information about Halo. But they started with Halo, lots of strong stuff about that. The multiplayer looks incredible, and it's going to be a massive cooperative story.
Soldier captains on deck.
Take them down.
Nathan Fillion's got a big prominent role in that sucker.
He's got a lovely voice, doesn't he?
Lovely voice, lovely flowing hair. And then they just proceeded to, hit us with title after title. We've got The Division coming. They've got to deal with EA Access, and more titles are coming, like Dragon Age Inquisition. They had the Recore game from Keiji Inafune, and also Armature, the guys that worked on that Batman side-scrolling title, ex-Metroid Prime people.
Yeah.
What is it?
The big thing that stands out for me is some of the indie stuff that they're doing. And the big game here, and I think this won the press conference for me, was Cuphead, for sure. I mean, the art style there, how quickly it all moves, just very charming, very seductive. And that's kind of what I'm looking for my video games these days.
Yeah, we got a really nice indie game break. I mean, I really liked Ashen looked incredible, and Tacoma looked really cool. Beyond Eyes looked really cool. There was so much clever game design and different approaches to kind of art style happening there.
Those games stand out for me here at this press conference.
Yeah.
It's not Halo, and it's not Gears at the end. It started with Halo, ended with Gears, but it's the stuff that's in between that feels like it has more meaning for me. It feels like it has more soul. I mean, these are games that have more originality and more, I don't know, those games really stand out.
There's some pretty cool risk-taking there, but there was also risk-taking happening when we had titles like Rare's Sea of Thieves, which is a Pirates theme thing. It's nice to see Rare trying to get back into that action-adventure type of form, and then they've also got that replay pack, which there's a lot of this resurgence of old titles happening in this business right now. Speaking of which, Xbox 360 backwards compatibility was a big announcement at the conference, and it rightly deserved all the focus and the applause that move generated. But then there was a big hardware presence here at this conference, too.
I love the new controller that they announced, which is huge, of course, but everyone's going to be talking about the HoloLens and their deal with Oculus and how all these things are going to work together in the future. And I really didn't know much about the HoloLens coming into this, and it does feel like it's somewhere between the way we used to game and where Oculus is going.
Yeah.
And I like that, and it feels much more approachable, much more hands-on, and I'm much more comfortable putting the HoloLens on my head, I would think, than I would be any of the Oculus Rift stuff.
Well, it's because I don't think you lose full vision of everything going on around you. You're not fully immersed. They call it mixed reality gaming, and I think they could have something sensational here. Now, Minecraft is what they showed it off with, and suddenly that Minecraft deal starts to make a lot of sense when you're launching new hardware that's perfect for it. But I think the secret sauce for HoloLens is going to be all the Windows 10 applications that they're going to build for the thing that we don't know about yet, plus whatever gaming they come up with, other than Minecraft,
I don't think it's quite, Milo kind of Peter Molyneux caliber moment.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's a step towards that. It was, everybody was just, their jaws were hanging open.
And I think that there's a cynicism that comes into play because we all felt a little underwhelmed by Kinect over the years, and I think we're all naturally sort of like, okay, let's wait and see kind of thing. But I don't know. HoloLens looks incredible to me, and I think it's insanely cool that Microsoft is being so aggressive with Oculus and with Vive, with Valve as well, which is what they announced here. So they're really pursuing VR gaming in some pretty significant ways.
I think they did a great job. They had a wide range of stuff to look at and be in awe of. The new Tomb Raider game, of course, looked great.
I love Lara Croft. and I am so excited for Rise of the Tomb Raider. You know, I gotta say, I loved all the indie stuff. I love seeing Halo. I like seeing the Ford GT pop out of the ceiling.
I'm a little tired of the green light in here.
Yes.
And I can't wait to get back outside.
Understandable.
Have you had fun?
This was a great presser.
Incredible. This is it.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Electric Playground. It's time for our Twitter question of the day. This one's from Phantom RC Driver asking, favorite time of the year, E3 or the Rocket and Ray Gun Awards?
That's a great question.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm split right down the middle. I know that's kind of a wimp way to answer the question. I love the Rocket and Ray Gun Awards, but right now, being right here,
this is incredible.
Feeling what I feel, I have to say E3 is exciting for me.
You know what? What's amazing about the Rocket and Ray Gun Awards is that we get to digest the whole year. Everything has come out, and we get to hang out with our best friends in the game biz. There are tons of other friends in the game biz that are here right now too, which is really fun with E3, but it can also get a little bit too exhausting. I have more fun with the Rocket and Ray Guns.
Listen, no one wants to hear about our exhaustion levels. We're at E3, my friend.
That's true.
Let's try to have some fun.
Well, we're going to be back at E3 tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for more EP Daily and get caught up at epn.tv. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dungeon Hunter 5, which you can play for free on iOS and Android right now.
This may be the game of the year. Very well may be.
It's for sure your game of the year.
Well, right now it is. There's nothing else that's ever even come close. How it stacks up with the other Arkham games, I still feel like the first one was the surprise one. It set the groundwork for all that was to come afterwards, so that still has a special place in my heart, but this is incredible.